Delivery Malaysia 370, good morning.
Malaysia 370, standby.
March 8, 2014. A Boeing 777 from Malaysia Airlines takes off from Kuala Lumpur International Airport, bound for Beijing. On board are 239 passengers and crew members, embarking on what should have been an uneventful 5.5-hour journey. But in mere minutes, this routine flight would transform into one of the greatest aviation mysteries of modern times, sparking countless theories, global investigations, and heartbreaking uncertainty for the families of those on board.
370, request level.
370, we are ready, requesting flight level 350 to Beijing.
Takeoff and the first minutes of the flight. At 12:40 a.m., flight MH370 accelerates down the runway and lifts off without incident. The pilots receive clearance to ascend to 35,000 feet and navigate towards their first waypoint, Gari, located over the South China Sea.
370, 3 to right of takeoff. Nice. 3 to right, Malaysia, Malaysia 370,
Everything appears normal. Passengers are settling in, and the flight crew is following standard procedures. But then, at exactly 1:19 a.m., the world hears the last known words from the cockpit.
Good night, Malaysia 370.
Good night, Malaysia 370. 1 minute later, the plane vanishes from civilian radar. The sudden disappearance and initial confusion. Commercial aircraft are equipped with transponders that continuously transmit location, altitude, and speed to air traffic controllers. However, MH370's transponder mysteriously stops sending signals at 1:21 a.m. Two things: a catastrophic technical failure or a deliberate deactivation. For 18 minutes, air traffic controllers remain unaware of the disappearance. It is only when Vietnamese air control attempts to contact the plane and receives no response that the alarm is raised. Malaysia is notified, but initial reactions are sluggish. Protocols for handling lost aircraft assume communication issues rather than immediate danger. As the minutes turn into hours, confusion gives way to growing concern. If the aircraft had suffered an accident, there should be debris, emergency signals, something. But there is nothing. Flight MH370 has vanished into the darkness, leaving behind only questions. The bizarre turn and military radar findings. Days later, a chilling revelation emerges. Malaysia's military radar had tracked MH370, making an unexpected and deliberate turn, flying back over the Malay Peninsula, passing near Penang, then heading northwest over the Andaman Sea. This erratic deviation defied all logic. If the plane had experienced an emergency, why didn't the pilots communicate? Why didn't they attempt an emergency landing at the nearest airport? Even more baffling, after reaching the Andaman Sea, the aircraft changed direction once again, heading south into the vast and desolate Indian Ocean. Then, it disappeared from military radar as well. This strange maneuver suggests one of two possibilities. Either the aircraft was being piloted by someone in full control, or it was on autopilot, following a pre-programmed course. Testimonies from families. The lingering pain and unanswered calls. For the families of the 239 passengers and crew, became an endless nightmare. Many recall the eerie moments when their loved ones' phones still rang for hours, even days, after the plane vanished. But there were no answers, only silence. Sarah Bajesi, whose partner Philip Wood was on board, recalls receiving messages of hope from online sleuths claiming the passengers were alive, held in a secret location. It gave me hope, but also deep anguish. What if they were still out there, waiting to be rescued? She says. Other relatives spoke of strange social media activity, accounts of missing passengers logging in, messages being read, yet no one responding. Was it a cruel technical glitch, or something more sinister? Theories and speculations. With no distress calls, no signs of terrorism, and no mechanical malfunctions reported before takeoff, the mystery deepens. Investigators begin exploring several possibilities. 1. Pilot suicide or hijacking. Attention turns to Captain Zahari Ahmad Shah, an experienced and respected pilot. Investigators uncover a disturbing clue: a flight simulator in his home that included a programmed route eerily similar to MH370's final path into the Indian Ocean. Could this have been a carefully planned act? Was the captain responsible, or was it a hijacking gone wrong? Some believe the captain may have intentionally depressurized the cabin, causing passengers and crew to lose consciousness while he guided the plane to its final destination. Others suspect a hijacking scenario, where an unknown assailant took control, forcing a tragic outcome. 2. A sudden emergency. Some experts theorize that a catastrophic event, such as a fire caused by the lithium-ion batteries in the cargo hold, forced the crew to take desperate measures. A fire could have disabled communications and overcome the crew, leaving the plane freeing on autopilot until fuel depletion. However, if that were the case, why didn't the pilot send a distress signal? And why did the plane continue flying for nearly 7 hours in a direction opposite to its intended route? The lack of distress calls and controlled maneuvering suggest human intervention rather than an accidental failure. 3. Interception by unknown forces. Another chilling theory suggests that MH370 was intercepted, perhaps by a military force, after straying into restricted airspaces. Some suggest it may have been accidentally shot down, with the evidence covered up to avoid international scandal. The secrecy surrounding military radar data from various countries, including Thailand and Indonesia, adds to suspicions. Was there something authorities didn't want the public to know? Some argue that the aircraft was escorted out of a sensitive zone before being deliberately downed. 4. A remote takeover. Some aviation experts propose an even more unsettling possibility: that MH370's controls were hijacked remotely, either by cyber attack or covert military technology. This theory suggests that the plane was deliberately guided into the ocean, preventing any passengers from discovering the truth. The existence of Boeing's uninterruptible autopilot system, which allows external control of an aircraft in emergencies, has fueled speculation that someone may have exploited this technology. Could an unknown entity have taken control and silenced the flight? 5. A secret landing. One of the most controversial theories suggests that MH370 never crashed at all. Some claim the plane was secretly landed at a remote airstrip, possibly for political reasons or espionage. Theories of involvement from secret agencies, rogue governments, or even an elaborate hostage situation have been discussed. Supporters of this theory point to the sparse debris recovered and inconsistencies in official reports. If the plane landed, where are the passengers? Are they still alive somewhere, held in secrecy? Satellite clues and the final signal. Long after the plane vanished from radar, a glimmer of hope emerged. The British satellite company in Marseille detected a series of automated signals, handshakes, exchanged between MH370 and a satellite. By analyzing the timing of these signals, experts determined the plane's final path. The last known signal, transmitted at 19 a.m., placed the aircraft deep within the southern Indian Ocean, one of the most remote and inhospitable places on Earth. This signal suggested that the aircraft had run out of fuel and crashed into the sea. But without wreckage, there was no way to be certain. The final verdict, or is it? To this day, the fate of Flight MH370 remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of modern aviation. Was it a tragic accident, a deliberate act, or something more sinister? The truth may still be out there, waiting to be uncovered.